Part 3. The truth they could never take back. Christmas arrived 6 months later. The house looked exactly as it always had. Lights wrapped around the porch. Daniel's old wooden nativity scene sat beside the fireplace. The smell of cinnamon, roasted turkey, and fresh bread filled every room. From the outside, nothing had changed. Inside, everything had. Ethan arrived first. He carried an expensive bottle of wine. Claire followed with designer gifts stacked neatly in shiny bags. Noah came last, holding a pie from my favorite bakery. For anyone watching, we looked like the perfect family, only I knew that perfection had disappeared the night they walked away. Lily helped me set the table. She quietly squeezed my hand. "You okay, Grandma?" I smiled. "I am now." Dinner passed with small conversations, work, weather, holiday decorations. Nobody mentioned my illness. Nobody mentioned the terrible night 6 months earlier. Almost as if silence could erase history. When dessert was served, I stood slowly. "I have something I'd like to share." Every conversation stopped. I looked at each of my children, then I began. "I never told you what happened 27 minutes after you left my house." 3 confused faces looked back at me. "My doctor called." Claire frowned. "What do you mean?" "They made a mistake. The pathology report belonged to another patient. My cancer wasn't advanced. It was caught early. The doctors expect me to live many more years." The room became completely silent. Ethan blinked twice. Noah lowered his eyes. Claire whispered, "So, you're okay?" "I am." Relief briefly appeared on their faces. Then I continued. "But that's not why I wanted to tell you this." I walked to the cabinet beside the dining room, removed a large envelope, and placed it carefully on the table. "My attorney prepared these documents several months ago." Ethan immediately recognized the legal seal. His expression changed. Claire slowly looked at him, then back at me. "What documents?" "My new will." Nobody moved. I spent weeks deciding what kind of legacy I wanted to leave behind. Ethan finally spoke. "You changed everything?" "Yes." Claire forced a nervous smile. "Mom, we don't need to talk about that tonight. I think tonight is exactly the right night." I opened the folder. "The family home will remain in a trust. When Lily turns 26, it becomes hers." Claire's smile disappeared. "The scholarship fund in your father's name receives most of my investments." Noah stared silently at the table. "Each of you will still receive something, but not what you once expected." Ethan slowly leaned forward. "So you're punishing us?" "No. I'm accepting reality." His voice became sharper. "We were scared. You thought you were dying." "I know." Claire finally spoke. "We weren't thinking clearly." I nodded gently. "I know." Noah looked up. "We made a terrible mistake." "You did." Silence filled the room again. Then Ethan asked the question I had expected. "One dinner changed everything?" I looked directly into his eyes. "No, it wasn't one dinner. It was 27 minutes. 27 minutes when all 3 of you believed I had nothing left to offer except my belongings. You never asked whether I was frightened. You never asked if I wanted someone to simply sit beside me. You asked about paperwork." Nobody answered, because nobody could. Lily quietly looked down at her plate. Tears rolled down Claire's face. Real tears this time. Not dramatic, not rehearsed, just quiet regret. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know, I truly am. I know." She cried harder. "I'd do anything to change that night." I gently reached across the table and held her hand. "I believe you." The entire room looked surprised, even Claire. "You do?" "I believe people can regret their choices." She smiled hopefully. "Then you'll change the will?" I slowly shook my head. "No." The hope disappeared again. "Forgiveness and consequences are different things. I've forgiven you. But trust has to be earned." Ethan pushed his chair back. For a moment I thought he would leave. Instead, he remained standing. "I've spent months replaying that night. I don't recognize the man I became." I quietly answered, "Neither did I." He nodded. "I deserve that." Noah finally spoke. "I should have stayed." "You should have." "I was weak." "Yes, I followed everyone else." "I know." No excuses, no arguments. Just truth. For the first time in years, We were finally having an honest conversation. Months passed slowly. Life settled into something peaceful, not perfect. Peaceful. Ethan began visiting once a month. Sometimes we drank coffee without discussing money at all. Claire returned the emerald necklace. She left it inside my mailbox with a handwritten letter. There was no explanation. Only two Z's. I'm sorry. I never mentioned it again. Noah started repairing little things around the house. Loose fence boards, broken porch lights, leaky faucets. He never announced he was coming. He simply appeared with his toolbox. Not because he expected anything. Because he finally understood what showing up actually meant. The will never changed. Neither did the scholarship. Neither did Lily inheriting the house. Some decisions are made from anger, those often fade. Mine wasn't. Mine was built from clarity. Last spring Lily planted a long row of bright sunflowers beside the porch. Every morning they turned toward the sunlight together. One afternoon she smiled and said, "Grandma, they're always looking toward hope." I smiled back. So should we. Today I'm healthy. I'm stronger than my doctors first imagined. And when I sit on this old porch watching those flowers sway in the breeze, I no longer think about the night my children left. I think about the lesson they accidentally gave me. Real love doesn't reveal itself when life is easy. Real love reveals itself when someone believes there is nothing left to gain, and if you're fortunate enough to discover who truly stays beside you in that moment, hold on to those people. Because they are the family worth building your future around. The end.